Our word of the day is warrant. Corporations may issue warrants that allow you to buy a company's stock at a fixed price during a specific period of time, often 10 or 15 years, though sometimes there is no expiration date.
What's up, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the SHLL Hyliion warrants and try to explain a little bit more of the price gap between the common shares and the warrants. So before we get into it, if you guys don't mind just dropping a like and maybe hitting that subscribe button, I really appreciate you guys so much. Get your free stocks into the description when you sign up with Robinhood or Webull, and let's get into it. So understanding the price differences. Right now, at the time of this recording, the warrants are trading around $14.85 plus the $11.50 strike price to exercise the warrants gives you a $26.35 value, and you can see that is less than what the stock is trading for. So wouldn't this make complete sense to just buy the warrants and exercise them and just pocket the profit? Isn't it easy money since it's a 1-to-1 ratio? And the short answer is yes, that does make sense, but there's some things that you do need to understand. So some things we need to understand about these warrants. So the warrant is either undervalued or the stock is overvalued. This does occur very often in SPACs. We saw this with Nikola and the Nikola warrants. There was a huge price gap between them. Warrants aren't available on every platform or every brokerage. You're only going to be able to get warrants on more established brokerages such as Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Schwab, and E-Trade. And you can only exercise these warrants 30 days post-merger. So this is more likely to be after the sell-off. Plus, there's around a $38 fee for the exercise of the whole lot, and that also takes 3 to 5 days to do. So using Nikola as an example, you can see they were listed on June 3rd, and they had their initial spike up that everyone remembers. And, a lot of people probably did want to exercise their warrants there and immediately sell off. I remember the price gap being a huge thing that people were talking about. And you can see by the time you're allowed to exercise your warrants, right around July 3rd, plus the 3 to 5 business days to actually make it happen, there was already quite a bit of a sell-off. Now, people still definitely profited from exercising their warrants and selling. However, this is just something you need to be aware of, that SPAC sell-offs are very common. And, say they sold off all the way down to like $15, then your warrants wouldn't even be worth exercising. Also, another thing to note is that the company can actually force you to exercise your warrants if the stock trades over, I believe it's $18 for 20 days in a row. So that's something to be aware of, that your gains can be capped. So a bit about the risks and my idea behind this. If the merger is called off or fails, the share price would likely plummet to around $10 and warrants would expire worthless. It does take a while to convert to common stock. This is another reason why warrants don't trade at the equal value, just because of this sell-off. So this is not going to happen with Hyliion. We all know it's going to be a great company. However, it's a great way to leverage your money. I do suggest buying equal number of shares and warrants, and this will honestly help you. When you have that initial spike up, you're going to want to take some profit, so sell the shares and use the warrants as your long-term position. Like I said, save the warrants for long-term. They do have an expiration date of about 5 years from when they IPO, so that's the similarity to options, but they are a lot safer than options. So a bit more when it comes to exercising your warrants. You can exercise all of them or just a portion of your warrants. You can choose to sell the warrants just as normal stock. So my current average for all of my warrants is around $6, and they're currently trading at $15, so I could easily sell off for profit right now. If you happen to take no action and you let them, expire in 5 years, you will receive 1 cent per warrant. So essentially, you will miss out on everything, just like them expiring worthless. So here's my overall conclusion on this topic and how I'm going to be using these to benefit myself. So I'm going to use the shares and the call options that I bought for the initial hype to be able to take profits, when it really spikes up. I'm going to use my warrants for my long-term position because I do believe in Hyliion long-term, and it's a great way to leverage my money. So, you could buy the SHLL warrants and then you short the stock and profit the difference. That's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Lastly, I did want to mention that if the warrants are in the money on the date that they're exercisable, this will likely drive the stock price down because new equity is being issued, so that is driving at least part of the price discrepancy. So in my personal opinion, right now it makes a lot more sense to buy the warrants over the common stock because even worst case scenario, the warrants have less downside. They are cheaper, there's a higher chance of doubling or tripling after the conversion of the stock. If the merger happened to get called off, which we don't think it will, you can use this for future SPACs, but the common stock will be liquidated at $10. So you're going to take the difference of the price and the liquidated $10, which is a $30 gap. That's how much you would lose per share. So if you bought the same number of warrants, the most you would lose right now currently is $15 a warrant. That's if the whole thing got called off. So the cost of the stock is higher per share and the potential returns on the warrants are much better. Plus the warrants at redemption is valued significantly cheaper than the stock. So that's my suggestion. If you're already loaded up on shares, load up on the warrants if you are long on Hyliion. So I actually found a nice chart here showing the difference between the Nikola warrants and the Nikola common stock post-merger. And as you can see, the Nikola warrants actually returned much better than the common stock. So that's just something to keep in mind for future SPACs. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this helped you out a bit. Let me know what you think about this video. And if you're buying commons, warrants, or options, I would love to hear your position in Hyliion. I'm really looking forward to the merger coming up. Let me know if you have anything to add to this video. Drop it in the comments and I will pin your comment in case I missed any information that you feel is important. As always, guys, please like and subscribe. Get your free stocks in the description. Take care.
Stacking vertical, ooh, counting sideways, ooh, ain't by my cake, ooh, get out my face.